Of course, there's one kind of sexual activity that's always fine in the Middle East, and that shouldn't. They promised they wouldn't put that slide in. I'm sorry. Stop it. No, don't. Stop it. Sure, I can't look at it. Turn away. They promised they wouldn't do it. I'm gonna die. They're gonna get me. I am gonna die. Salman Rushdie didn't do anything like this. I'm a very busy person, so I only play video games I'm in. So I have never played this particular video game. But I have played Milo Tosser. And Milo Tosser is a game in which you can throw an image of me off a roof. You're playing as ISIS. Now, I think it's quite interesting and funny, and like all the best games, like all the best humor, like all the best art, it draws attention to awkward things that we have to consider, bigger questions. But Google removed Milo Tosser from the Android store. Can you guess why? Islamophobia. It's a sort of weird admission. I mean, they keep telling us on the one hand there's nothing whatsoever in common with ISIS and Islam, but every time you take the piss out of ISIS, they get you on Islamophobia. Something doesn't quite add up. But it wasn't Milo getting hurled off the roof and killed that upset Google. It was the feelings of ISIS. I'm serious. Now, I don't know who thinks it's a good idea. Well, I do. I have there's one person, at least one person, who thinks it's a good idea to have Muslim countries running the internet. That is Barack Obama. Now, as I said earlier, control of the internet will probably end up with the United Nations. And there are lots of problems with that. This is Robert Mugabe addressing the United Nations. Now, United Nations likes to take up all sorts of kooky causes. If you think that Mugabe addressing the United Nations, being given a platform to explain himself, is bad, well, there's a little video I want to show you.
I had mentioned it's not just what is legal and illegal, right? Harassment is threats of violence, but it's also the day-to-day grind of you're a liar, you suck, you know, making all of these hate videos to attack us on a regular basis, and the mobs that come from those hate videos, etc. So what we're seeing is that the internet is providing new ways to commit the same types of violence. But we can make systems that actively deter that kind of behavior, which would make a huge impact on the lives of me and so many other people who are being harassed online. So what we have right now is women are forced to build a fortress around themselves with the measly tools that we have online. And so we are being punished for people harassing us and, you know, yes, period. And so we need to really think about how we create this larger cultural shift, taking into consideration society at large, taking into consideration tech platforms, taking into consideration laws, so that people, like all people, can engage online and fully participate without fear of intimidation and violence.
There you have it. Feminist definition of violence is saying, Anita Sarkeesian, you suck. And the appropriate response to this is lawmaking to stop it. That's what she just said. She just told the UN she wants laws to stop people saying you're a liar and you suck. Given the choice between Mugabe and feminism, I choose Mugabe. A little suggestion to Ms. Sarkeesian: if you want people to stop calling you an odious, mendacious cunt, maybe stop being an odious, mendacious cunt. What unpleasant words Anita Sarkeesian gets on the internet have nothing to do with her gender and everything to do with the fucking horse shit that spews out of her mouth. Now, a feminist-controlled internet would be actually very dangerous because they hate men, they hate masculinity, and they also have a nebulous term, a little term they use, called cyber violence. No, I mean it. Cyber violence, like online harassment and a number of other terms cooked up by these guys, is defined as anything that hurts a feminist's feelings. So you can go out and you can say what you want, you can hurl the most appalling abuse at anyone you don't like, whether it's straight white males or whatever. They just got to take it. You create this environment of bitchiness and nastiness, and they've just got to put up with it. Because if they respond in kind, that's violence. Chinese censorship is almost better than that, because at least you know where you stand. In their case, you only have to worry about the Politburo's feelings. And you know what they think about things. It's impossible to gauge whether a feminist will suddenly announce she's offended by something. They're offended by everything. They're offended by air. Offended by shoes. Microaggressions. You know what microaggressions are? This sort of no, they don't fucking exist. Who is it? I didn't come up with this joke, and I'm very mad that I didn't. Some comedian said, what are microaggressions? If they're so micro, stop fucking going on about it. Of course they don't exist. It's just a way for unhappy people to try to make you as unhappy as they are. In late 2015, the UN put out a barking mad report called Cyber Violence Against Women and Girls, a global wake-up call. And it said, I'm going to quote this, it said, a cyber touch, a cyber touch a cyber touch is recognized as equally as harmful as a physical touch. From the people who brought you Saudi Arabia, chair of the Human Rights Commission. I mean, my God, if only it were true. If Father Michael had only cyber touched me when I was 5, maybe I wouldn't be such a fag. I only wish it were true. All right. In their press release, UN Women claim that cyber violence places a premium on, quote, emotional bandwidth, end quote. The report was so badly put together, by the way, that many references were just left blank. And one of the footnotes, when you looked it up, was C:\documents. There's a link to the researcher's hard drive. These people are trying to legislate how the internet works. They can't even use fucking Word. They can't use Microsoft Word. The report, in the end, had to be withdrawn, had to be taken back down and apologized for. Can you imagine what would happen if this lot got control of how the internet is organized? We have to hope beyond hope, that their incompetence is stronger than their will to censor, which might just be the case. After all, the UN is notable for fucking up everything it sticks its nose into. Many examples of the UN fucking up over and over and over again. Control of the internet is like virginity. Once you give it up, you never ever get it back. Which is why I chose a special romantic occasion, the drug-fueled interracial fivesome with 2 drag queens. Once America... What? I heard that. Just reaching out. I was just sharing something with you then. Fuck you! America must retain control of the internet. Please do what you can. Complain to whoever you can. Talk about this because nobody else is. This is a really, really important subject. China. Russia. I can't help it. It's just how I hear the word now. You know, he has such an effect on you. It just gets in your head. And it's just how I hear the word now. I'm just reading a sentence, you know, like in a book, and it'll just go, China. Believe me. It's wonderful. What a wonderful man. You cannot allow this to happen. You cannot allow China and Russia and the Islamic world to take over control of the internet. You cannot do it. I encourage you to complain to whoever you think will listen about this. You made it. You made it good. You kept it free. And all of us, every day, exercise our First Amendment rights, some of us more enthusiastically than others, to say what we want and be what we want and do what we want. The internet is the primary vehicle through which these days many of us find out who we are, how we flourish, how we learn, how we meet people, how we meet our loved ones even. It's astonishing to me, amazing that an elected president in America could want to give that up to Russia, China, and Saudi Arabia. Thanks very much. Sorry for ending on such a bad note. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm sorry for ending on such a pessimistic note, but sometimes things really are that bad. I'm happy to take questions about more cheerful subjects. How does that work? Here. There's two microphones at the front. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take a couple on this subject or any others. Hi, go ahead.